Welcome to the What I Wish I Knew After Pregnancy Loss podcast. I am your host, Shana Southern. I am an angel mum, rainbow mum, a pregnancy loss practitioner, and trauma-informed coach. I created the Institute of Healing Through Pregnancy Loss out of my own experience with loss in the hopes to provide understanding and healing, educating people on pregnancy loss, and creating more women or men in trained support roles. In this podcast, I hope to shed light on what I wish I knew in relation to pregnancy loss, opening up the conversation, breaking the stigma, and bringing real-life stories plus guest experts. Thank you for being here with me today, and let's dive into today's episode. Hello, beautiful souls. Shana with you. Today, I want to talk about the sensation, the thought of I'll just ignore my experience, or I'll just forget that it had ever happened. And while that is a very enticing concept to just ignore the pain, ignore this, huge experience that you have been through, it doesn't actually serve you or your healing and recovery. When we ignore these parts of our life, we are ignoring us as a human being. I had a woman reach out to me a little while ago, and she said, I'll just ignore my loss for 6 months and then I'll be okay. And I was like, you can't put a time frame on your healing. And also the decision to just choose to ignore your experience isn't going to serve you. This same person reached out again, probably, I'd say maybe a year and a half later, asking for help because she was still struggling, but in more than one area of her life. And she was struggling with her physical health as well. So the decision for her to ignore her experience had actually led to more pain, physically, emotionally, and mentally for her a year and a half down the track. She was still struggling with anger, guilt, resentment, and she was just furious with people around her, with the world, although she was still very much resisting the fact that she needed support. Even though she was saying she needed help, when I actually tried to help her, she was still resisting all of the things that would help her. So when we do ignore these parts of us, what we're doing is we're pushing them inside. We're ignoring part of ourselves that is the human experience. The loss and the emotions and the grief and everything that comes along with it is uncomfortable. There's nothing comfortable about it. But unfortunately, that's what our challenges are. They challenge us. They're not meant to be comfortable, but they're also not meant to be ignored. As a woman, what happens when we do choose to suppress these emotions and push them inside? Our womb space holds our emotions. And when we suppress them, we're pushing the energy of those emotions into our womb space. And it's holding the energy of those emotions there and unbalancing our body, unbalancing our sacral chakra and the energy that is in our body. And a sign or a few signs of an unbalanced sacral chakra is, insecurity, lack of desire, anxiety, and guilt. Suppression of emotions also shows up physically. And in traditional Chinese medicine, you can see they explore how the energy of those emotions present physically and how they are stored in our body, in particular in our, organs. So, for example, anger and resentment will show up as liver and gallbladder issues. Fear will show up in our kidneys, our bladder, our stomach, and our heart. Anxiety is our heart and our spleen. Depression or sadness impacts one of our most vital organs, our heart, and sadness is in our stomach and lungs. There is, like I said before, it's very, very easy to want to ignore our loss, our experience, what we're going through, to push aside the pain, the memories, and maybe for a little while, that's what you need to do. And that's okay. But don't consciously choose to do that for your lifetime. If you need to, just for your sanity, be able to distract yourself for a short period of time, then maybe that's what you need to do. But also have the awareness that that's not your long-term solution. It's your in the moment, short-term, just to get you by solution, but it's not a long-term thing. Ignoring what we go through, ignoring the physical sensations, ignoring the emotions, ignoring the enormity of it for your body, for your emotional health, for your mental health. If it was a traumatic experience for you, ignoring the trauma in your body is not going to serve you long term. It will actually end up coming back in a different way. It will manifest into a physical form because emotions are energy. They're designed to move through you. They're not designed to be pushed back inside and to stay there. When it stays there, it builds up and it manifests into a physical form. And it also has an effect on different areas of your life. And sometimes it might even be hard to trace back that what you're struggling with today in this moment has actually got ties to your loss, to maybe something that you haven't been able to resolve, haven't been able to heal. And it can come years down the track. So choosing to see and witness the emotions in the present moment is what is going to really support you in your healing and recovery. Show yourself that compassion and kindness. Know that it's going to be painful because nothing about this experience is going to be light and easy. But when you give yourself the permission to witness the emotions, to sit with them, to understand them, they will leave you. And sometimes it might feel like if you start crying, you'll never stop. If you start feeling that emotion will overwhelm you and you won't be able to come back from that. But I want to assure you that when you do choose to feel the emotions and witness them and see them, they will stop. You will stop crying. Your body will naturally stop, and that emotion will be able to find its release, to find its way out of you. And then the next time it comes, it won't be so intense. It's not easy. The journey isn't easy. But when you start to have that awareness for your emotions and have the tools in your tool belt to start to see them and witness them and know what it is that you're feeling, then each time it comes to you, it does get a little bit easier. But it is absolutely your decision, your choice to witness those emotions and not ignore them, not choose to ignore your experience for 6 months or a year or 2 years, because when we do that, our emotions want to be seen in the moment. When we choose not to see them in that moment, they get pushed back inside of us and that energy becomes trapped. What I want to do is there's a tool that I use for my clients, and it is a very powerful tool to understand kind of what emotions you're feeling. You may or may not have heard of it before, but it's called the emotion wheel. It has the 6 main emotions in the middle and then a variety of different emotions that come out from that. And it's going to enhance your emotional awareness, allow you to witness what it is and explore what it is that you're feeling more and understand yourself more. But also, I want you to give yourself the compassion and kindness to see those emotions and how they're presenting in your body. Notice the physical sensation that comes along with that emotion as well. How does it feel in your body? Where do you feel it? Notice how the emotion is. Does it have a color even? Does it have a texture? What does that emotion have? And where do you feel it in your body? This is also going to give you a physical awareness of that emotion, maybe even before you recognize the emotion. You may feel the sensation before the emotion, before you recognize, what emotion that is. You might feel that tightness in your chest first, and then you'll be able to make that connection. So I'm going to provide the emotion wheel for you to download, and you can look at that and maybe use that in your healing and recovery. But also just know that if you are choosing to maybe ignore your experience or distract yourself from the experience, that it is a choice maybe that you're making short term. And I want you to have the awareness that it's not something that you can do long term. Short term, yes, it might support you because the pain can be very intense and very overwhelming. But long term, it's not your solution. So when you do make that choice, know that it's not your long-term solution, and maybe create some time for yourself to start to really lean into these emotions. I hope this episode was helpful for you. If it was, I'd love for you to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and I look forward to supporting you on the next episode. 1 in 4 pregnancies will result in miscarriage. 1 in 8 women will experience infertility. 1 in 100 women will experience recurrent miscarriage. And 1 in 160 births end in stillbirth. Have you been wanting to make a difference in the lives of women or men who have experienced pregnancy loss because you can see so many suffering in silence, but you just don't know how? Collectively, we can change how bereaved parents can access mental, physical, and emotional support after their experience. There is a lot of women with unhealed trauma, and there is a huge gap in the current support system when it comes to bereaved parents' recovery after loss. There are too many women and men suffering in silence. The Pregnancy Loss Practitioner Certification is a worldwide, one-of-a-kind program that gives you proven methods designed for healthcare professionals, medical staff, midwives, nurses, doulas, birth workers, coaches, and angel parents alike. The Pregnancy Loss Practitioner Certification is bridging that gap. It will give you a proven support structure to follow and education specific to pregnancy loss, created by a loss mum. It is creating more education specifically for loss so that you can enhance your service and become the point of difference. Or you can create the support that you so desperately needed in your healing after loss. This is the next level of growth and expansion you have been searching for. So does this sound like something that you have been searching for? Let's explore this more together. You can head to the episode show notes where you'll find the program application, or direct message me on Instagram and let's open up the conversation in how you can use this education. You have a gift, and I look forward to supporting you and witnessing you bring your gift to the world, healing and transforming women's lives. Thank you for listening in with me today. I hope you found this episode helpful. If you did, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Take a screenshot of this episode, share it to social media, and tag me at Institute of Healing_PL. I love seeing what is resonating with you right now. If you want to chat further, I invite you to connect with me through Instagram. Head over and follow my Instagram account, send me a DM, and let's open the communication. If you want to know more about how you can be the support for others, head to the show notes and fill out the application form for the Pregnancy Loss Practitioner Certification. I want to also note here that what I share within the episodes is not medical advice. If you need further support, please consult your doctor. Thank you again. Much love to you. Be gentle with yourself, and I look forward to supporting you on the next episode.